Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quick look here at ANT, which is a request from one of my patrons. Thank you very much for requesting I cover this here. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump into Bitcoin first to kind of get you a quick baseline of what's going on, and then we can kind of understand where we're at with things because Bitcoin's doing very well. In fact, we've got about 4 significant increases in the last 48, 72, 100 and some odd hours, right? We're doing pretty well, all things considered. The key takeaway here is that we're making higher highs and higher lows more consistently, and that's important. And hopefully we can break the resistance of 52,300 and be in very, very good shape from there. But for now, we'll take what we can get. Right around 51,200 is a good place. We're also up above both moving averages, at least on the 1 day. We got the 200, we're up above the 200 on the 1 day. And then on the 4 hour, we are up above the 50. Both good things here. You can see we're going to see a little bit of rejection out from the 200-day simple moving average on the 4-hour chart, but that's not terrible. That's actually okay, because the more often you test a resistance level, the more likely it is to break. And it does look like we've seen about almost 12 to 24 hours worth of consolidation there. So we could very well see another leg up here from Bitcoin at this point, based on the fact that it keeps testing that and keeps pushing further. Okay, so all good stuff there. All right, now just before we jump into ANT, I want you to know I'm not a financial advisor, right? I just love teaching people how to trade. This is my day job, and I've been doing it for quite some time, over 15 years. I've got a trading community designed with that specific purpose in place to help you become a better trader. Consider joining, of course, just so you can have a bit better of an experience overall, become more well-rounded. I'm releasing a trading academy next month in January as well, and that's going to be an awesome experience too, along with the website, transitioning away from Patreon. But for now, feel free to consider joining. We'll be able to have a nice, smooth transition later in the month. Now, for ANT, let's go ahead and just figure this out, because obviously we've seen some pretty large candle wicks, so bear this in mind. ANT does have a tendency of shooting up and shooting down, okay? So we just got to understand that's the kind of behavior that it has, but we are above both moving averages here, of course. We're over 70 on the RSI, which can effectively work as a support level. So now that we've broken past 70 on the RSI, that could essentially work as a support if the price were to come back down. Now we can try to identify what that price point is. It could very well be right here at about $10.67. So I'd be willing to guess that that could be the new support level, okay? So why don't we go ahead and just mark that there, just in case the price comes back down. We have a nice little support. We'll also go ahead and mark some Fibonacci retracement levels here before we move forward and kind of see roughly what that looks like. Now, again, these Fibonacci retracement levels can be a little funny based on the fact that the price has been significantly increasing, right? Because that high right here for today is based on today's. So we could have different levels tomorrow, but for now, you can kind of see how it's working. I mean, obviously, we've got pretty significant levels here, and we've got a nice strong support at about 768. But ultimately, right now, we're looking at like 1015 upwards of about 1068 would be a nice support channel. So we can kind of expect the price action, if it travels within there, to likely continue to hold. Okay, again, the likelihood of that, of the price coming down into that area, I think is pretty high right now, just based on the fact that we've had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, today's the 4th day of continuation. Traditionally speaking, three white soldiers is a candlestick pattern. You usually see a 4th red day. Okay, not to say it's going to happen today, but we don't have a lot of bearish momentum here or any type of divergence, and it could occur soon. It's just that natural law of trading. What goes up must come down. This has come up quite a lot in the recent past. So we look at this here. We're up 130% in 4 trading days. That is too much movement, in my personal opinion. And just over my experience, I can tell you, coins that go up that fast, they come down eventually. Okay. Now, it may not come crashing down. We do have some decent support levels here, of course, but that's kind of the sense here. Also, bear in mind, too, we're up over 70 on the RSI on the 4-hour, and we could effectively see the price come back down soon. So if we do lose 70 on the RSI, then we would expect the price to come down to this support channel here, once again, between, just say, 1010 and about 1070, okay? So we could essentially see the price come back down. Hopefully, we can get some consolidation here soon. But if we look at the price action, you can see the price is coming up, over, up. We got to get some over here soon. If it goes up much further, then we're going to have a problem. The price will come crashing down on us. We do not want that. Let's go ahead and take a look at TD sequential and kind of see where we're at. We did get a nice reset here. So this is nice. We got this little consolidation period right in between, what, 760 and about 860. And then, of course, the price continued upwards, and we are at an 8 right now. So hypothetically, again, this isn't foolproof, but it's very consistent in a lot of ways. When we get a 9 on TD sequential, the likelihood of it coming down or going sideways is pretty high. So we're at an 8 right now, and it's starting to taper off. I'd speculate we might actually have 1070 as a nice support level, where the price action continues to kind of try to test that and then continue the upside. But you just got to understand, this is a lot of movement in a short amount of time. Without consolidation, we're going to see some problems, and we're going to lose these stronger supports if it goes up too high too fast. Okay. So again, I always try to teach that to my community members. Make sure you pay attention to these patterns and understand kind of what's happening. Now, here's something that's kind of a consolation. We can kind of see this here. You can see the price action isn't terrible on the 1 hour chart. Okay, it comes up, over, nice consolidation down here. And then of course it comes up, over. It's kind of making a nice little staircase pattern. Those are ultimately what I try to look for. I prefer that on the 4 hour chart, but if it's on the 1 hour, that does help a little bit more on the micro there to help us identify that we're not in terrible shape. So all in all, this isn't a bad continuation. It's just very significant in a lot of ways, okay? And based on its history, we're going to be able to see, I would have to say we're going to see some consolidation soon, but it's not doing terrible on the short term, right? So yes, the midterm looks kind of exaggerated, but on the smaller micro, it's actually performing quite well. So this leads me to believe that if the price were to come down or to consolidate, we shouldn't see anything lower than 1070. I would say $10 would be the lowest point we're going to expect. So 1010 to 1070 again is a strong support channel. The price travels within that range. We should expect to see it hold. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't tank to 46,000 in a couple of days, we're going to be in pretty good shape here, right? So all in all, really good stuff here. I like where we're at. Let's take one quick look at Ichimoku Cloud, and then we'll call it a day. And this is something that I wouldn't say this concerns me, but this is coming to fruition in that sense. Whereas, Ichimoku Cloud being a conservative indicator, is telling us that we don't have too much longer. I would say maybe 6 to 8 hours. If the price continues to go sideways or just say comes down a little bit, then we want to consider trimming our position, right? Or obviously, depending on the kind of position you're holding, you might want to consider taking some profits, or just hold on for dear life if that is your case, right? If ANT is your coin for long term, don't worry about any of this. But if you're short term day trade, maybe a swing trade that's very very short, then you would probably want to consider exiting your position or trimming, because the fact that once the lagging span intersects with price action, that is essentially a sign that we want to consider selling. Again, this is a conservative indicator. It can sometimes get you to close your position prematurely, but I'd rather take profits of 130%, right, than hold on for an extra 20 or 30% when I could potentially lose, another 30 or 40. Again, I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers out there, but generally speaking, take profits while you still can, and it's important to ensure that you always remain profitable at the end of the day, right? Because why be a trader if you're just going to hold on and get greedy and lose all your gains? There's no point in that. Trust me, I've tried it. My first couple of years of trading, I was really stubborn. Now I adhere to a specific schedule and a specific practice, and these are all things that I'm going to have available in my trading community here soon within my trading academy. But for right now, I just recommend exercising some caution. We're seeing it's starting to taper off a little bit. It makes sense. We need a couple of days worth of consolidation before it legs up again. If it does leg up too soon, just know it will probably come back down, and you want to consider taking profits. So if that were to be the case, let's just say hypothetically, right, the price were to continue to shoot upwards. Well, what we're doing here, and let me go ahead and get rid of this just so you can kind of see real easy what's going on. So this is a previous high right here. This is the previous all-time high one-day close. This is the all-time high itself, right? So I always mark the one-day high, the all-time high one-day close, and of course the all-time high itself. So this is a major resistance channel, right? So just say the price were to continue upwards the next couple of days and travel in there, we can expect a significant retracement from there based on the fact that it traveled up too high, too fast for one, didn't have enough of a base, right? In other words, we don't have a tremendous amount of volume in this area. And you can just tell it's very fragile right now, okay? So until we have more volume accumulation in the range of just say $10, $11, then we're not going to have a strong enough base to be able to break through this major resistance channel, okay? So again, just something to consider and understand. That is essentially something you got to be mindful of, because coins like this, all well and good that it increases, just know it doesn't have a stable foundation. Yeah, it's got a lot of volume at $5, but that's half the price point right now, okay? So there's not a lot of room in here for some type of support, if you will, okay? The only support we have is a previous high, which is right around 1070. All right, so hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more about what could potentially happen here with ANT. So thanks again to my community members for requesting I cover this. Deeply appreciate that. And we'll look forward to seeing the next video. Merry Christmas if you celebrate that holiday, and I hope you all have a great rest of the year. We'll see you again very soon. Take care. Thank you very much.